All right, before we get started, settle a debate. How do you say your last name?
Chupek.
Okay, that's
There we go.
What was the...
well.
Chupek, Chupek.
I think I always started saying Kuchapek. I don't know where I got that.
My cousin on the baseball team was Kupchak.
That's great.
Yeah. Chappelle.
Hey, Kupchak, get over here.
Yeah, right.
That's great.
Welcome to season 2 of the Hills and Hollows podcast. I'm Jordan Fuller, hanging out again with Kevin. We've got Mike and Caitlin with us today. And Mike and Caitlin, your story is interesting, but it's a story that we're hearing a lot out here where you totally just completely uprooted your life. You grew up in California, or you lived in California for a while, right?
For most of my adult life.
For most of your adult life.
Yeah.
So
20
you
years.
uprooted it. You moved out here to South Carolina. You've recently got involved with Foothills. Caitlin, you've been helping a lot with social media and all of that good stuff. But today we just want to hear your story. So why don't you guys take a second to introduce yourselves and we'll get into this conversation.
Sure. Go ahead.
All right. I'm Mike Chupek.
And I'm Caitlin Chupek.
We're glad to be here. Thanks for having us.
And you have a daughter too,
Yes,
right?
Yes.
we do.
We have
Poppy,
Poppy.
she's 4.5 and going on 25. So
No, that's how our daughter
Yeah.
is. I feel
Starting
like that's
school.
how all daughters are. I mean,
Yeah.
you got,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
you got
yeah.
yours too. So,
How long have y'all been married?
7 years in October.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So California, you uprooted completely and you moved out here how long ago to Seneca?
April 1st.
April
Or not
1st.
Seneca,
So
you're in
little over 5 months.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
tell us about that. Let's hear the story. What brought you out here?
I like to say it's the whole throw a dart at a map kind of theory. Honestly, we didn't really research.
Yeah, and so when you guys came to us, we were like, are we really the right people? Because we didn't, like, it really was God. Like,
Yeah.
Mike came to me in December, right by his
we
birthday.
were in Seattle for my birthday. See Russell Wilson's last home game.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And
He was
I-
home the other night.
Yeah. He felt it too. And so I was like, you know what? I don't know, randomly. I was like, I think we had gotten home from the trip and we were going to Target and it was just like 10 lights from our house to Target. And it was like, I don't know.
It would take a
Wednesday.
half an hour.
And it was
wow.
ridiculous. It's like,
Yeah.
is everyone just on vacation? Like, why is no one working? Why is it taking this long to get to Target, like during Wednesday morning? So I was like, let's do something we wouldn't normally do. Let's just go visit a few places, and we'll start with the Carolinas. We were dead set on North. I don't know
Gotcha.
why.
You just like North Carolina?
I knew it was cooler weather.
Okay.
we're snowboarders too, so we
okay.
wanted
Oh,
to be-
really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I was like, let's do that first. So we literally, like February 5th, I think it was, we took off, landed in Charlotte, I believe.
Okay.
And then we really didn't care for it.
Didn't love it. Yeah.
Wow.
Like, it's beautiful.
Sure.
We just didn't feel it. Like, it just, we kind of mingled a little bit. It just, we weren't connecting with the people. The
Yeah.
properties we saw weren't. And then the last leg of our trip, we dropped into South Carolina in the Pickens area.
Okay.
And immediately we were like, yeah, like
was
these
very
people
friendly.
are so
Awkwardly
amazing.
friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
And
like,
you're
I'm
not
a
used to it.
Stop.
He literally thought it was a joke. He couldn't believe it. He was like, are these people like for real?
It's like the Truman Show.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because people in
Yeah.
California, like, I mean, there are the groups that are super friendly, but everybody's just in their own, go,
Totally.
go. And so knowing your neighbor and loving your neighbor, that's like not really a thing. So immediately everyone was just so welcoming and we were like, this is what we're looking for, And so we started looking at properties. We were loving them. We fell in love with a few in Anderson and had offers.
Mm-hmm.
They fell through. Our realtor sent us the home we bought, and
While in the airport. Like we were
Yeah,
about
we
to
were
board
about to
in
boarding,
40
going back
minutes,
to
and like,
California.
hey, I could go check it out. I'll FaceTime you. So she did, and we said, okay, throw this amount at it. By the time we got home, we had 9 offers on our house. They had accepted our offer.
Goodness gracious.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was
Within,
really
like,
a boom, boom,
24
boom.
hours.
Had you even seen the house or
No.
was it? So
No.
you just
She
blindly
flew in like
Well,
early March, I think, to
yeah.
actually see it before closing. And
That was it.
Yeah,
that was the
it. I
only
was like,
time. He
I
didn't
said,
come. It was
no.
just like happy wife, happy life kind of thing. But
Yeah.
Going along for the ride.
yeah, but so we were flying. By the time we landed back in LA, they were like, "Hey, they accepted your offer." So we're like, "Guess we're moving to Lake Hartwell." Like, where is that? You know? So, but the whole idea, I was always 1 foot out of California because I'm like a small town girl, and so he could live anywhere.
Yeah,
And
I didn't necessarily dislike California.
Sure.
I was disliking where it was going, and the fact that we had Poppy now, I really had to take a step back and see what was important.
You moved here. Where is the nearest place that people you know live? Like,
nowhere. I mean, literally, no one is
We don't
here.
know anybody.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's
now his parents live in Greer, so they followed
so it's not
us.
too far. Oh, they followed you.
Yeah.
But when you first got
But
here,
when we first, no one.
where do you start?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
do you? I mean,
It was-
you have no plans and no friends and
And that's where you guys come in.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
How
where
did you
Foothills-
find
Yeah,
Foothills?
like-
Like,
So-
what made you pick Foothills out of everywhere?
So when we moved in, there were neighbors next to us. They've since moved back to Nashville.
This is true.
But they were from California too. And so her name was Caitlin. And it was weird. Like she wanted
Spelled the
chickens.
same.
Like we were like,
Same color hair.
and I was really, really excited because they had 2 little girls. It was very strange. And so, but they had family in the area. And so their family attends here. Tristy and Seth.
Yeah, the
And
Hurrells,
so they all
family.
started collectively coming here, and they just kept, hey, you guys come with us to Foothills, like whatever. And we're like, our moving truck still hadn't come. So we've been living in leggings and sweats for a month and a half.
We had 6 pairs of clothes
Yeah.
together.
Just cycling.
And not like
For a
you guys
straight
would
month.
care, but we were like, we don't want to make a first impression,
Yeah,
like
right.
just showing up, So finally the moving stuff came, and we're like, okay, we're going to come. Or we watched online, actually.
Oh,
and
okay.
Mike, you were singing, and Mike was like, I don't know who that guy is, but we're going to be best friends.
That's awesome.
And like we just had chills watching worship, and we were like, yes, we're going as soon as the moving truck comes. And then it's just been a blessing ever since. Like we've met literally the greatest people. Everybody's so authentic, and like just when you're sick, it's not, can I do anything for you? There's literally soup at your door, So it's just, that's what we wanted. And it's like, we had nothing to do with this move. It was all God. It was not us. Why we're
That's the
here
crazy
and
part.
how it's been unfolding has just
that's
been,
the trip part.
He's remote, I'm remote. We have, even though sometimes we're at each other's throats, we wouldn't change it for the world. We have this time together. Our family unit is strong and just growing in faith and in our church. Like it's been,
And we had
it's just been awesome.
hundreds of opportunities to get involved like this in California, but it was
With
so
churches?
wishy-washy.
And I think too, but this might be jumping ahead, is like what is here is kind of like a final frontier. Like that's how we were talking about it. And we're just like, it's such a gem. People were in such a digital world and like all these things, but you have people, you still have that small town here, but still enough to be like, okay, you're still, functioning with society, but you still have that everyone knows each other. Like we've gone out and we're new and we see people we know, and I'm like, this is crazy. Like you couldn't go out in California and see anyone you knew because there's just so many people.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So you had trouble getting plugged into a church over there. Is this like your first church
Yeah, in the
family
last
as a
30
family?
years.
Yeah.
In 30 years. Okay, so
I grew up going to Catholic church, probably not even every Sunday, maybe holidays even, and then I had CCD, which was like basically like Catholic Saturday school.
gotcha.
And that ended when I started weekend travel ball.
Yep, gotcha.
And like, what was that, like 8 to 10 years old? And then the next like 20 some odd years, it was back to the whole like Easter Sunday, Christmas Eve.
Gotcha.
Like it wasn't really pushed.
Yeah.
And like we, when we got together about 10, 11 years ago, we never really,
Sure.
like we had opportunities, like I said, but it was like, okay, like, do we go?
Yeah.
And we were always skeptical because not necessarily of who was inviting us, but like, are we going to stick with it? Are we going to stick with it with these people? Like, is it just like is it one day a week where it's like, okay, I'm very spiritual, and then there's other 6 days I'm just doing whatever the heck I want.
Yeah.
And it just, we weren't sold on it.
Yeah.
And then like 4 years ago, Poppy comes along, and now we were really starting to debate, how do we approach the bigger picture?
Yeah.
And again, back to the wishy-washy feeling,
Sure.
like, we want to get involved.
Yeah.
Is this where all the roots are going to be?
Gotcha.
Like, are we
And
going
I
to stay
think-
out here? Like,
I think too with having Poppy, because we both grew up Catholic and I went to a Catholic high school,
Gotcha.
that it's so structured, and like it led me to like just question everything, like literally everything. And so, and I kind of pushed back on it because I don't like being told like this is how things are, like, and whatever. And so where here it feels very much more like a relationship, you know, and that's to me what it's all about, is just having that relationship with God and talking to him every day. And that's what I want for her. I don't want her to just push, you know, like, why do I have to do this and this and this? You do what you know, so, and you guys embody that completely. And I think that that's been the biggest thing. Like, I mean, meeting Tristy and Seth and Joanna and Ryan and stuff, and then coming here and meeting all you guys, and then seeing, you know, none of us are perfect, but seeing you guys at least try every day, you know, and try versus what we were seeing before. You know, it makes us just want to, you know, everybody's pushing each other to be better. And that's, I think, what really attracts us to wanting to be just immersed in it, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been awesome.
Amazing. What, if I can like go back to, okay, so like a gap, 30-year gap. Where are you guys at with God during that journey versus what's different today because of getting involved in church? If like somebody's listening and they're like, you know, maybe they've got the same questions, because I know you're describing like hypocrisy that you saw there, but that actually exists everywhere. It really, like, a lot of times that's all over the place. So they're listening, they're wondering, like, what has evolved in your faith journey? What was your faith journey 5 years ago versus today?
I had a strange run-in in Anaheim at work about, I think it was like 2013. Random customer I'd never seen walked through the doors and walked right up to me at the counter and said, "What's your name?" And I'd said, right before I even said my name, he's like, "Is it Mike?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I was told to come here and pray for you." I was like I get chills to this day. Like, and he took me aside and we prayed and I bawled, and
Wow.
and that's when I came home and I was like, "Do you want to start going to church and everything?"
Wow.
And like the things he was bringing up and asking me about, I was like, no one knows these things. And it was just strange because I had never even crossed paths with this guy before.
Gotcha.
And from that day forward, I was kind of questioning what do I do from here? Like, where do I take this?
Yeah.
And I didn't really take a next step, but I was always super curious. Like, what was that about? And I know together we've gone through some things that only could be solved or described as like
All God.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
it's always been like, there's obviously a bigger picture, bigger person here. Like, let's start like taking advantage of like God's help, God's will, just surrendering basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's
Yeah. And for me, and we talked about it a little on Sunday, but I'm 10 years sober.
Yeah,
and
that's
so there's no way that would happen without surrendering, right?
Yeah.
And knowing it's not my way. And so for me, that's my relationship every day. You know, you talked about last Sunday, like your past life and your new life, and not dwelling in the past, and like, because just like you, like we all have things,
That's
and
right.
like there's a lot of things back there. And so my relationship today is just being so grateful and thankful and wanting to grow deeper in that relationship. And I with being raised Catholic, I have a lot of questions in the Bible and stuff. And so joining the Bible studies and figuring that all out. And it's been so rad because all these women have so many amazing views on all the different parts of the Bible. And it's like, holy cow, how did you get that from this? You know, like that to me is like crazy. And so, but just being fully immersed in it now and being surrendered and saved has been just the best thing in my life, in our marriage, and raising our daughters. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So in closing, if there's someone out there who was maybe you 5 years ago and they're lost or they're struggling or they're looking for community or connection or to get out of the rat race or whatever that is, what advice would you give to them if they're listening?
Just do it.
Take the leap of faith, literally.
Yeah. I mean, and I know that it's a struggle. Like, we have so many friends back in California that, you know, watch our Facebooks or Instagrams and they're like, oh my gosh, I so wish I could do this. And I'm like, just do it. But I do know, like, people just can't pick up and they don't have the means to do that. I feel like if you really feel like that's your calling, you need to make anything possible happen and just trust that the Lord is going to carry you, because he has for us. And so, if you really feel that in your heart, I say just do it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us today.
Yeah.
I told you it'd be easy. 20 minutes have gone by just like that.
That was so fun.
It's been good. Well, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. You can always stay connected with us online at foothills.cc/Hills and Hollows. We're on iTunes. We're on Google Play, Spotify, everywhere the podcasts are, right? But until next week, guys, thanks for hanging out with us.
Thank you.
See you guys soon.
Awesome. See y'all.